Welcome to the workshop. Hello, today I'm going to demonstrate to you how we use the Doweling system to drill holes for adjustable shelves in bookcases and cabinets. This piece of MDF is representing the side of my cabinet or my bookcase, and I wish to drill some holes for adjustable shelving a certain distance in from the front edge and again for the back edge. I want to put a set of 3 holes in and then equally spaced sets of 3 holes every, say, 6 inches or so. I've put a fence onto my Doweling block and I've spaced it off with this large shim. That gives me the exact spacing to where I want the holes from the front edge of the shelves. Therefore, if I line up the fence against the front of the shelf side and then position the central hole with the line that I've placed on the board giving me the height from the bottom, line that up with the alignment mark which is scored around the block for the centre hole, like so. You don't need clamps, but I find it just holds everything nice and tight, which is good. So I'll put a clamp on, and please also notice, because I'm making 3 holes and that's what I'm choosing to do, I've blocked the 4th hole off with an indexing pin. So when I come to drill, I'm not going to accidentally drill a 4th hole. So with the Doweling jig in place, I take my drill. I've got a brad point bit here. I've set a stop collar, which is the depth of the Doweling jig plus the depth that I wish the adjustable shelf pins to go into the side of the cabinet. Then I just drill my 3 holes. With the first set of holes done, I can then take the clamp off and get ready to drill the next set. And to make sure all the sets of holes are exactly the same spacing apart, I'm using the indexing bar and the indexing pin. I've set my pin up on the 6mm end, which matches the holes that I'm drilling, and I've set it a distance which is 6 inches from the middle hole of the 3 that I'm drilling. With that locked down, I can now position the jig with the index pin in the centre hole that I've just drilled and the fence against the front of the workpiece, and I'm ready to drill my next set of 3 holes. Pop the clamp on. I think you saw how easy that was to do and how we can easily now just continue up the side of our cabinet or our bookcase, setting out our 3 pinholes every 6 inches up the cabinet, and by adjusting the position of the index pin we can have any spacing we wished. If at a later date we decided we needed an extra hole, maybe we wanted to accommodate a slightly larger book on one of the shelves, we can use the indexing pin through the block. If we place the pin in the centre hole again, then place that on the original set of 3 holes, push the pin in, that locks the block in place, and we can drill a 4th hole. If we wanted to make it 5, we could simply put the pin in the first of the 2 holes, drop that in the middle one, and we can put 2 more holes in. If we wanted to drill adjustable holes all the way up one side, an inch apart, we'd simply start wherever we wanted at one end, drill 4 holes, put the indexing pin in the first hole in the block, move it into the 4th hole that we've drilled, push it in, drill the next 3, move it up to the last one again, drill the next 3 and keep going. The fence ensures that we're a constant distance from the front of the cabinet or bookcase, and the block ensures that all our holes are exactly spaced an inch apart. Now, to tackle the back side of the bookcase or cabinet, we can reset the jig and work along the other side. And with the short threaded rod that I've got in there at the moment, that's how I'd have to do it. But an easier way is to get some longer threaded rod, set your fence and block where it should be for the first set of holes, and you can lock that position in by using the index pin. Place a clamp on the fence and the shim, remove the indexing pin, undo the nuts. Having removed the nuts holding the block onto the fence, we can then slide the block off. Now, if I had 8mm threaded rod, you'll see that we can move our doweling bar, our main block, right the way off the rails. We can place a nut on each of the long rails, move our block back on, position it the distance we want from the back, and probably the way I would do it is use a spacer working from the front set of holes, and say that's how far I want the back holes to be. Put the block up against there, tighten nuts on both sides of the block, locking it in position. We'd have both bars in here, which would lock that block from the fence at the distance we'd chosen. Then we could remove our spacer, drill our 3 holes in position 1, take the clamp off, move the whole assembly up, use the index pin in the first hole we drilled, block would drop down in exactly the right place for the next set of holes, drill those 3 and keep moving up. I know the explanation for drilling the holes towards the back of the cabinet or the bookcase was a little bit difficult without me having the correct threaded rod. I've got it somewhere around the shop, I just couldn't find it today. But hopefully if you play it back a couple of times you'll understand what I'm saying. Also, I'm planning at the moment a cabinet that I'm going to build and record a little series of for this YouTube channel, and in that I will be using this jig in exactly the right way with the threaded rods, showing you how to drill the front and back holes in the cabinet sides for the adjustable pins. So look out for that sometime in the future.